And now, Jieshuo, aka Commentary Screen Reader, CSR, or if you're me, the Confused Screen Reader. This is a segment dedicated to this great popular screen reader where we show you some new feature or some feature that we believe you should be in the know of. And now, for this episode, here's your entry for Jieshuo, aka Commentary Screen Reader. We now move on to our next segment, and we're talking about the CSR, Jieshuo, aka Joshua Screen Reader, if you are my late friend, Austin Pinto. And for me, I always refer to it as the Confused Screen Reader. No, Kareen would cut my head off. But here's Kareen to show us how you could suspend the gestures, which actually makes typing flow faster. So it's a great feature. And here's that pretty girl to show you how you go about suspending gestures on CSR.
Hi, in this episode I'll be demonstrating the suspend screen reader gestures function as well as the feature that suspends the screen reader gestures automatically as long as the keyboard is in focus. Suspend screen reader gestures means that the on-screen Jieshuo gestures are suspended, so you can't perform the regular swipes, angular gestures, multi-finger gestures, and the double tap to activate. However, browse by touch will still be active. Volume key presses also work. And to activate an item, you put your finger where the item is located, and then you tap again to activate the item. The next tap should be also where the item is located. To enable the function, you can either select it from the main menu, speak the name using the voice assistant, or assign a gesture to the function. When the function is active and you want to resume the screen reader gestures, you perform the simultaneous pressing of the volume keys gesture. And as usual, this means that you press one volume key, then you press the other quickly and release them together. Also, you can use the voice assistant, so you speak the function name again to resume that screen reader gestures. And you can assign the function to a volume key press because, as I said before, volume key presses are not affected by the suspension of the screen reader gestures. I'm now on the home screen. I will activate the function through the voice assistant. Suspend screen reader gestures.
Screen reader gestures suspended.
Now I can't perform the on-screen gestures, but I can still explore the items on the screen. So I'll put my finger.
Seeing AI.
And then I'm moving my finger.
EDA flag. ASR. L-middle.R8. Messages. Ganymede. Messages.
I want to activate messages, so I'll tap again where it's located.
Messages. Messages.
You should be aware of the fact that you still need to perform the gestures that require two fingers using two fingers. I mean the gestures like the swipes that you perform when the screen reader is active using two fingers, because browse by touch is still active.
Home screen 1 of 2.
I'm now on the home screen again. If I swipe with one finger to the left,
Auto TTS.
it didn't work. So to move to the next page, I will be swiping with two fingers to the left.
Home screen 2 of 2.
And then I'll swipe again to the right to move to the previous page.
Home. Home screen 1 of 2.
I will now use the simultaneous pressing of the volume keys to resume screen reader gestures. 1, 2.
Screen reader gestures
3.
resumed.
You might say, why is this function introduced? And what's the benefit of having it? The most important use case of this function is typing. This makes typing much more responsive. And for people who are used to typing with browse by touch suspended, it's a great function. I was from those who kept using an old Gboard because typing with Browse by Touch suspended didn't work with the newer Gboard versions. Until this function was introduced. So now I'm able to type quickly and I don't need to suspend Browse by Touch, and now I'm using the most recent version of Gboard. So the point is, Jieshuo is able now to respond faster to taps when you are using the keyboard, because it's not trying to interpret the touches to see if they are gestures or if the user is trying to double tap. And because of the importance of this function, Jieshuo developer added an option that suspends the use of screen reader gestures whenever the keyboard is in focus. I'll show you the option and how it works. I'll go to screen reader settings.
Main menu. Screen reader settings. Jieshuo Max.
And then advanced settings.
Advanced settings. Advanced settings.
And then typing settings.
Typing settings. Typing settings.
The option is still in Chinese for now.
Checked. OCR and translation.
I'll use Jieshuo's translation to translate it.
Pause screen reading gesture checked when input method pops up.
It's checked, but by default it's unchecked. I have checked it before.
Home screen 1 of 2. Home. New text note.
I'll open a note in Keep Notes.
Keep application icon. No text box.
When I touch the keyboard area, all screen reader gestures are suspended. But I can still move my finger between the keys, because as I said before, Browse by Touch is not suspended. So I'll try.
Capital H, Hotel. Capital F, capital D, capital S, Sierra, capital A, Alpha, capital F, Foxtrot, F.
When I lifted my finger, it typed the letter F because my finger was on the letter F. I'll delete.
Delete, F deleted.
And I'll try to tap the characters' positions quickly to type.
T, A, I, S, I, S, J, U, S, T, A, T, E, S, T, full stop.
I'll now keep tapping one letter quickly.
S, hash,
It will be the letter S.
S, S.
So I think you have noticed that the typing experience is much better. Now to perform screen reader gestures, my finger should be on an area of the screen other than the keyboard. So I'll put my finger.
This is just a test. This is just a test. Hash sign.
On the edit box.
Text box. Editing.
And try to swipe.
Add button.
So swiping worked. When you are performing the gesture, if the finger reaches the area where the keyboard is located, the gestures won't work. There's a problem when using this method to type related to items or on-screen keyboard elements that need double tapping to be activated. Even if you tap where the item is located, this won't work and the keyboard element won't be inserted. And I'm talking here about emojis, about clipboard content, and there could be other elements as well, but my main problem personally is with emojis. So when I try to insert an emoji, if double tap to type is not active in the typing settings, this leads to a crash and the element is repeated and repeated again and again until you turn off Jieshuo, then turn it on. And if double tap to type is active, the only thing that happens is that the emoji won't be inserted. So I'll show you.
Enter. Alternatives are available. Resent selected. Smiling face with open mouth. Smiling face with open mouth. Smiling face with open mouth. Emoji.
I tapped 3 times where it's located, but it's not inserted. The workaround is to use click. So you can, for example, use the voice assistant and say click or direct click for direct click. And you can assign a gesture, a volume key press for clicking, the clicking function. And also it's possible to use the already default available function to direct click, which is tapping with 2 fingers, assuming that you haven't changed this. But of course, you should pay attention to the thing that I mentioned before, which is that tapping with 2 fingers should be not where the keyboard is located. So I'll try to perform the gesture on the top.
Grinning face with big eyes. Create group of S's, smiling face with open mouth, smiling face with open mouth. This is just a test. # group of S's, smiling face with open mouth, smiling face with open mouth. Text box editing.
So I was able to insert the emoji twice using this way. I try with another emoji.
Disappointed but relieved face. Emoji.
Click.
Sad but relieved face.
Important note, I'm using Gboard and I can't talk about other keyboards because I haven't tested any of them. I see that typing using this method is better than typing with Browse by Touch Suspended because you are still able to explore the other on-screen elements and you can perform gestures, of course if you perform them not in the keyboard area. And you are able also to hear the typed words if you have enabled the option, and you can explore the on-screen keyboard elements if you want to. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Kareen, for that wonderful demonstration.